It's time for more classic Mega Man, guys. You excited? Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm Harry, or Flame.
I'm Stephen.
I'm Joe.
And this is actually a game that I only found out this morning, never actually came out in the UK until last year through the Virtual Console, because it's originally published on the NES in '93 in Japan and the US, but we kind of got scrapped over, which is a shame because this is actually one of the better NES Mega Man games. What are your thoughts going in?
It's totally not Dr. Wily.
What do you mean? That's a completely new character, Mr. X.
Is it Homer?
Sure. What one was that from?
It was in one of the episodes where Homer creates a website and he creates the alias Mr. X.
I can't remember if I've actually seen that.
Really.
Anyway, here's the best Robot Master objectively. Flame Man.
You had to pick it just because of the name, didn't you?
Also, he's the best one to go first, I find. But basically, one thing you notice, and I really appreciate this in this game, is the Robot Master stages. They've got quite a bit more detail to them than what I remember from, say, 4 and 5. Because if you look like at the background colour here, we've got, I don't know if this is meant to be like a castle sort of area that Flame Man's in. But there's a lot more kind of shades of purple.
Maybe it's like Eggman's Palace, like
yeah,
from like Sonic Adventure 2.
Ugly Pyramid Cave though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Pyramid Cave had more kind of browns than purples, really, didn't it?
And reds here and there.
They're red. Oh, I think. Yeah, I remember a few shades of red. I'm not good at remembering colour coordinations off the top of my head, really. But yeah, this fire is one hit kill if you fall in it, so you gotta be careful.
Well, it makes a change for background colour apart from purple, so.
Well, yeah, it's like they're really doing a lot with the NES's colours. And granted, this was quite late in the NES's lifespan.
Yeah.
Because they were actually working on Mega Man X at around the same time as this on the Super Nintendo. So,
okay, yeah. So did they sort of borrow aspects, would you say, or?
Not really. X was like the most original Mega Man game to come out. Because let's face it, for all I can say about how great this game is, like it's still just more classic Mega Man.
Yeah, because it looks standard. It doesn't look completely new.
Yeah. I think the one thing this game suffers from is the fact that it's the 6th game. Because, you know, like, if this was, say, 4, it'd go down a lot better just because people wouldn't have exhausted themselves on Mega Man at this point. But this does suffer very much from being classic Mega Man
it's
again.
It's the same thing, just with slightly different enemies.
Well, yeah, basically. The Robot Masters are probably the best we've had since about 3, but it suffers later on from repetition, but it's not as offensive as 5 was, which is good because 5 was kind of dull. I'm thinking back to when we did 5 actually, I can't exactly pinpoint what it was in 5 that bugged me so much, it's just 5 was boring for me to play.
That's fair enough.
It might have been like the Robot Masters not being particularly interesting actually, but no. But anyway, this guy is kind of annoying to try and fight because he's got this attack that he's using there that is nearly impossible to dodge unless you get lucky and be in the right place.
You've just got to wait till he's open after those like fire columns, really, ain't you?
Yeah, and not let him land on you like I just did.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't go down too well. It's one thing I find with these kind of enemies that jump around a lot, they're so much harder than they need to be really, just because of the jumping. It's kind of that extra level, isn't it? But yeah, that's the first Robot Master down. He can't jump that high normally, can he?
No. He just saves his energy for that little victory pose.
Yeah, it's like, really, I should be using my energy to actually fight the enemy, but no, I've got to save it all to look badass once I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Fireman's weapon, which is a bit situational, really. There are a few places you can use it in actual levels, but yeah. Anyway, Blizzard Man.
He's got skis.
Yeah.
Was that meant to help him in any way?
Well, yeah, he likes skiing.
I suppose that would make him more of a dick because he'd be like sliding around and everything when you're trying to hit him.
Well, his main attack, like, he actually rolls into a ball, so like, so there is literally no reason for him to have
It's
the
like
skis.
it's just taking the piss out of like the blunders you see like when people go skiing when they like in the films when they like go into like a ball and stuff like that.
Well, I suppose at least
That's
then,
noble.
like, he's not the only one to roll into a ball when he's on ice and basically annoy the hell out of a player. Cough Sonic Lost World.
What, so you were pressing the spin dash button while on ice, expecting that to work?
No, that one level where you're in the snowball.
Oh, right.
Like, that is a terrible, terrible ice level. Like, there are so many things you can do with an ice level, and then they just like make it a really awkward kind of rolling pinball game. I hate that game. If it's not already obvious, I hate that game.
Even though it's far, far from the worst Sonic game ever.
You do realise saying it's not the worst Sonic game is really not saying much given how many
I know,
terrible
but
Sonic
still.
games there are.
It's not even actually bad.
It is!
It isn't.
Are we going to have an entire argument of this again? So, at least, like, Sonic Lost World doesn't seem as bad as Boom's looking, I'll give it that. But I still need to play Boom to kind of confirm that Boom does look worse. But again, not saying much because Boom does look absolutely fucking terrible. But yeah, these enemies are kind of obnoxious too. Just not the enemy designs themselves because they've been in basically every Mega Man game, but the fact that they're like that one step off the ground so you have to slide. But anyway, new rush powers.
Wait, so
Punch.
Mega Man confused with Rush?
Yep. And you know that animation we just saw morphing into Rush? It tries to do that every time you use the power. Which gets really, really annoying. Like, and I mean really annoying. Particularly like in some of the late levels where you're constantly switching between it as new obstacles are coming up. Like, you can hold start to kind of
you want to
speed through
fucking
it.
get
but,
over it.
Yeah.
And get it done with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you can hold start to kind of skip past it, but it still plays the start of the animation even when you do.
So it's kind of like a bass, is it?
In what sort of sense?
You know, you're confused with the...
Oh, with treble.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
treble.
in a way. Although,
It's probably the inspiration for it.
maybe. I think at this point, Inafune had said that he wanted to just do something like this just to try and make it distinct from previous Mega Man games.
Yeah. Which I kind of understand that like there is quite a variation of this, like with especially with you fusing like with like Rush and everything. Yeah, I think it's trying to be more forefrontal with its different gameplay. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does actually add quite a different feel to certain parts of the level. The new Rush abilities, not so much the punch, although that is prominent. But later on, you unlock like another Rush power up, which is really useful because it's like the replacement for the Rush Jet. So it's like a hover thing, which is basically Rush Jet but with slightly more control over it, and it recharges its own energy as well, which is useful.
Sounds handy.
Anyway, Octopus on Ice. That makes sense. Yeah. I guess he's cool with it. Yeah, I've already
There's
put the
no
commentary down,
response.
haven't
There's no response from Stephen then.
Yeah. Well, it's alright, I laugh at my own jokes to make up for the fact that no one else does.
I did because I felt bad if I didn't.
I've died a bit inside.
Wait, you mean you haven't died over the past 2 years of me making you sit through commentaries?
Nah.
But yeah, this guy, as you might expect, is weak to Flame Man's weapon. But
Of course.
see what I mean? He's rolling into a ball. He has no need for them skis.
He stole Sonic's spin dash.
Yeah.
And homing attack.
But where do the skis go?
Up his arse.
That sounds incredibly painful, especially like
Well, he's a robot. He won't
He doesn't have a soul.
Oh god.
That was a reference to Sonic.
Yeah, can I just say, like, for all the problems the game looks like it's got with it, I watched the first couple of episodes of the cartoon. It's amazing.
It was okay in my opinion.
That's like the perfect level of humour that you need from a Sonic
It
series.
needs more Orbot and Cubot in my opinion.
What
They actually got a response out of me.
Alright, what are you saying, Jay?
Yeah, what I appreciate with the humour of Sonic Boom is that it's quick. It is very quick and to the point, which I like about it. It's like when Stick goes, "Hey, what are you saying? I'm not paranoid or anything." Looks at a shadow, stop following me. That makes me laugh.
I just kind of cringed at, and when Tails says that he's got short-term memory loss of that, and there we go.
See, it's the kind of humour I would think up, and that's probably why you hate it so much. But
Probably, yeah.
But it just reminds you of Harry when you watch it.
Probably does.
But you know what I get from it? It's kind of like the colours style of humour let off the lead, isn't it? It's like, instead of just getting like two minutes in a cutscene of it, you get a whole series of them kinds of jokes. Yeah. And I don't think it's the same writing team, but I can't really confirm that. But it's definitely the right kind of writing for that sort of series.
Yeah, Cubot and Orbot need to be with me as well because they're like family. And then later refers to them as being soulless and not counting as someone to live with.
Yeah. But anyway, get back on...
Eggman is the biggest hypocrite ever.
It's an arsehole.
Yeah. But to get back on topic, this level is probably my least favourite in the game development and stage. And it's not so much the stuff we've seen so far, but there's some like spring sections we're getting to shortly. Which are just...
Will you be bouncing about the place?
Yeah, and there's just so many things that can dick you over. And also these enemies that just sort of appear out of nowhere. It's so hard to try and time yourself around them to not get hit. And particularly them like grasshopper things, I don't think you can actually hit them when they're on the floor, they have to be mid-jump. So again, timing. Doesn't this look like a fun section?
Try not to die.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use the punch to break that, but I don't actually need any sort of weapon health at this point in time. I'm not sure what this robot's supposed to be.
I think it's a gorilla.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'd say
Definitely looks like a gorilla.
Robot gorilla with like tank treads.
A little bit. It actually looks like he wouldn't be out of place in, I think it's either Granite Man or Concrete Man. I think Concrete Man from Mega Man 9 stage. Except like in Concrete Man stage, like they had elephants for some reason, which just... It makes no sense in context of the stage or the boss that it's in. It's just like this elephant thing that flings a ball at you.
What does the stage look like?
It's like a similar sort of thing to this, a little bit darker, and I think parts of it are inside, but it's like got little like concrete platforms and concrete area design and that. So like you get random elephant.
Okay.
It's like not your elephant in the living room, it's just like your sort of elephant in the middle of a stage. One little effect I do like is there are actually health pellets in the middle of them plants there, which is kind of cool. Except it's annoying because this you've got tiny jumps around these things that pop out of the middle. And there's so many places you can get dicked off. Like, how was I supposed to time these shots there? I'm on a spring. I'm on a fucking spring.
You should just know.
Like, that's not the sort of thing you can do even if you know, because like, look, you've got to time it around this thing that's shooting at you when you're on a spring.
Or
so
figure something out.
I can't control my jumps. I either jump high or I jump midway. There's nothing I can do about it if I happen to land. I can't actually remember Plant Man's pattern off the top of my head, so I think he's weak to Lizard Man's weapon though. Oh yeah, he's a shield robot. We haven't seen enemies with this pattern before,
like
have we?
Woodman.
It's like Woodman, he's like Starman. I think there's been a couple of others as well.
Pharaoh Man wasn't he similar?
I'm not. No, Pharaoh Man had that kind of, what do you call it, the ball shot above his head, didn't he? Like, they use it again in Pump Man in Mega Man 10, although that's slightly different because he sort of fires them in a spiral pattern around him rather than just throwing them forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Skull Man as well, Skull Man did it. But there's just so many bosses that use this exact same pattern or like similar pattern to it.
It's the same concept as Pokemon. Ice beats grass.
Well, wouldn't Flame Man's weapon be super effective against him?
Sadly, no.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Still not as backwards as in Mega Man 1, where Iceman's weapon beats Fireman. I'm not sure what made them think of that. That makes no sense. I suppose this is a series where we've got a robot that borrows elemental powers to shoot other.
Maybe like the amount of bullshit, just the thing.
Yeah, some things you just don't question.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't he look amazing in this pink suit?
I swear he was pink when he got the Flame Man's powers.
He was kind of a orangey, pinky sort of colour. Who am I going to next then, I wonder? It's Tomahawk Man.
So the only unique thing about him is that he carries a tomahawk?
Pretty much. Yeah, we've got cowboy robots.
So no like elemental powers or anything, just he's got a little axe.
We'll see. But yeah, these things, sometimes there's items inside them, it's basically like Rock Smash, so it's worth breaking them because you might get the odd bit of health here and there, or E-Tank even. I love how they think someone might fall for that trap there. Like, let's jump over the obvious entry pit and onto the spikes.
Yeah. When you said it's like Rock Smash, the only thing I'm questioning is why would you teach anything Rock Smash?
Because it's a HM that might be mandatory in certain situations.
Or a TM if they're being kind.
Yeah, why was Rock Smash ever at HM? Like, it's just such a waste of a move that...
It's weak.
I guess it was probably because, like, before Gen 5 you couldn't reuse TMs, could you?
Probably.
And I'm gonna say, I'm actually glad they made that change.
Yes, that is probably one of the best things ever.
I've heard a few people say that it comes off as, like, too easy, but really, part of the fun for a lot of people with Pokemon is building your team, and so having to keep refinding TMs you want is more of an inconvenience than a legit challenge, isn't it?
And buying TMs as well.
Yeah, let's go grind for money so we can afford the overpriced TMs.
So that then I can give them to 5 different Pokemon that I like.
Yeah.
Rather than just buying it the once and then reusing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people just seem to really not like Pokemon being made more casual, but I prefer it, you know. Like, Pokemon is inherently baby's first RPG, isn't it? So you might as well make it...
X and Y is probably the most player-friendly.
Yeah, like, it is baby's first RPG, there's no denying that about Pokemon in general, is there? So you might as well just make it accessible. Anyway, time to show off the new Rush Jet.
It's actually kind of cool.
It is, it looks really cool. And I like how you get control over it in mid-air. Like, it doesn't last as long as the old style Rush Jet, but you got directional control. And it's not as broken as Mega Man 3 either, so you've got air manoeuvrability, which is always useful thing in games. That's something that I've seen on the new Call of Duty, you know, Advanced Warfare. You've got the
that's where it's
jetpacks.
Incorporated in there, like you can float about in the air. Well, not some,
Yeah, you get that little leeway, and that's something I'm really glad about, because part of the problem with Call of Duty multiplayer for me for a long time has been like, if he sees you, you're, as long as he's got reasonable accuracy,
it seems a bit too solid, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, or like, it gives you that little chance to dodge.
Yeah.
Like, you can fly up.
Exactly.
Or you can be that one dick who just lands on people and shoots them, but still.
Plus, even when you like try and jump away with like and avoid being shot at, God, it just feels really awkward.
Yeah, it's one of the things that it's whoever sees the other character first, he's going to win that particular shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I'm glad the jetpacks should fix, because I remember them making it a bit easier in Halo Reach as well to get away, although not every game type used them then. I'm not sure if that's the case with Call of Duty or not. But anyway, time for another boss with Tomahawk Man. He looks like some sort of glam rocker with that hair, doesn't he?
No, he looks like more of an Indian chief or something.
That's probably what they're going for, but I'll get more glamour. But he's weak to the plant man weapon, which just spins around you, so you got to get close to him.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's nearly always a thing like that in the Mega Man games as well, isn't there? But it's kind of difficult when you're also trying to dodge him. But that's him down. Gotta love the kind of magical spinny powers around him animation, don't you? This one's not pink at least.
Get silver tea, but you're brown.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, they couldn't just colour him grey. Like, it really wouldn't have been hard, guys.
Probably didn't have that in the colour palette or so.
I'm not sure how hard it is to produce greys actually, because I would assume that grey would be kind of a natural colour for a lot of palettes.
And they've got several
actually,
grey spikes scattered everywhere.
Well, no, the spikes sort of recolour depending on what area you're in. It's like
Really? I just thought they were standard grey.
some of them are, but like you see in parts of the certain levels, they just change. Like sometimes you get tinted to the colour of the level, which that's just kind of how the NES palette works, I imagine. But